Hey there, pumpkin friends. It's Chad from Colorado Giants. Today is Tuesday, June the 4th. It is time for your weekly-ish update, so stay tuned. Before we get started, I wanted to show you guys the beautiful Colorado sunset, a wagon full of weeds, and I'm curious, does anybody else have Miller moth season? I betcha. Well, they're all coming out. I don't think the video is picking it up, or the camera can pick it up, but I have got an ungodly amount of moths in my shed. They are thick. Does anybody else have Miller moth season? Comment below. So now that we got that very important Miller moth question out of the way, I'm just going to continue to set up my giant tomato growing trellis, trying to avoid this little spider that's right here. Just in case you don't know, my name's Chad. My family and I grow giant pumpkins and giant tomatoes, giant anything. If you can grow it, we can overgrow it, because it's just an addiction that I have. So I have a lot to do this week because, as you may know if you watched the last episode, Maxwell and I went to Connecticut the last weekend to fight killer robots, our other hobby. So we were gone on, when were we gone? We were gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today is Tuesday. So we were gone. I wasn't able to get anything done. And then I'm leaving on Sunday for one whole week to go to Montana with the family. So that just means that we have to kick butt and really get ahead of everything this week, so that next week when we're gone, we don't get too far behind. If you have made it this far, consider subscribing to the channel. There's a little bell down there. Hit the notification thing and all that stuff, or the subscribe button and then the bell, whatever, and comment below if you have any questions. I'll get to them eventually. This week, or today really, I mean today has been the only day, has been very productive, mostly in part to my very pregnant and smoking hot wife. She has, if you've watched videos in the past, where we're standing right now was engulfed with weeds. My amazing wife pretty much rolled up the weeds today, which there was a whole lot of weeds. She was able to pull back the weed fabric, she had a good technique of rolling up the weeds, and I would say 97% of all the weeds in the greenhouse are gone, which is awesome, because the weed fabric I got was not weed inhibiting fabric, it was weed enhancing fabric, and it made weeds go crazy, and we had a huge amount of weeds. Let me show you how many weeds. So right here is your standard run-of-the-mill, I don't know, I think this is a 40 or 50 gallon trash can. We'll say 40 gallons, because it's a round number and I can probably math that. We'll see. I probably filled up at least 10 of these at a minimum. So that's at a minimum like 400 gallons worth of weeds that we took out of here today. I would say it's probably closer to, I don't know, like 12 or 15 barrels full of weeds. I kind of take these out, I put them in the wagon, and I wagon them over to our compost weed trash pile. But thank goodness that task is done. It looks so much better in here, so much so I'll change the angle so you guys can see it. Oh yes, it is glorious and relatively weed free. The only place we have some weeds are right here in the perimeters, where it was kind of challenging for Emily to get through and use her roll method. Obviously, her being pregnant, I don't want her like doing too strenuous. We probably shouldn't have had her do that, but she was like, women in Asian culture pick rice up until the day of birth. I can roll up weeds so we grow a state record pumpkin. She might not have said any of that. I could be making it up. But we just have weeds right here and a couple on the perimeter. I'll spray those, I'll pull those. But in short, everything is looking awesome. The giant tomato trellis is going right here. I have a tomato basically at the base of the camera that I will plant once I'm done with this, and then I'll probably call it good for the night. The tomato plant is probably 5 or 6 times larger than the one that I planted last year that grew the state record. So that's good. And let's talk about the plants. Starting with the 1783 new. This plant is awesome. It is the front runner of the garden for sure. I was able to bury all of the vines today, get caught up on all that, lupo all the weeds near and inside of it, and all in all, it looks pretty darn awesome. I did pollinate a pumpkin today. I think we could super zoom. You can kind of see it just right there. Night vision doesn't work so good. I have another pumpkin in the tip. That will be my primary pumpkin, and I would say hopefully I can pollinate that on Saturday. Otherwise, I'm going to call in the pinch hitter and bring Calvin in to pollinate that if it opens on Sunday. And then if it opens on Monday, I got to bring my one of my neighbors in to pollinate that. So unideal vacation timing as far as pollination goes. Here's some field pumpkins, jalapeno, giant tomato plant. Even though going to Montana might not be the ideal time as far as pumpkins go, it's the ideal time as far as family goes, and family to me is way more important than pumpkins. So I'm gonna go to Montana and have some fun with my family. This is the 2006 wolf plant. There's some differences with this plant and this plot. This section of the greenhouse this year is super soggy. Lots of clay over here. I need to bring in some compost and some amendments and some sand and just plop it right in this section because it's super soupy. In fact, it's super soupy enough. Pile of weeds that I loopholed up is that I turn that valve. I'm throttling the water to this section so that it waters less than the other plants, just because this area is retaining so much water. The other thing that's really interesting about this plant is it seems like it's extra needy as far as the nutrients go, because we were gone on what did I say? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 days. This plant was not a happy camper because I really didn't do any fertilizing while I was gone. I didn't do kind of any. I just didn't do any because I didn't have Emily do anything. And in response, this plant, it's starting to get kind of dark. In large part, I'm not going to say it shut down, but the growth just slowed significantly. So you could see, secondary, and then still main vine growth, but hey, where are the secondaries? Whoops! And then this plant also is very magnesium hungry. I don't know if it's coming through on the nighttime camera, but if your leaves get kind of yellowy, like mottled yellow or yellow kind of spots like that right there, but more exaggerated, that's typically a sign of a magnesium deficiency. And you need to give your plants some Epsom salts. That will satisfy the magnesium requirements for the plants and keep them happy. Look how clean. Look at this is where the 3-foot hip high weeds were. And again, my awesome wife rolled them all up, got them out of here. Heat cable's still on. 1931 Turner plants. Doing really good. This one has a pumpkin in the tip. I will probably not have this one pollinated just because I don't know. It's still real early at the today being, what did I say, June the 3rd, 4th. Mid-June is still totally fine for pollination. This one being early June, I'm cool with this one being like mid-June, and this one will probably be the same time frame. So I'm not super concerned about being like a early June pollinator, but this plant looks great. Nothing bad to say about it. I will say that it too, all of them, all of them have responded to the lack of fertilizer. So that just shows me that I need to be definitely stay up and be consistent with my fertilizing. We do have somebody who's going to stay at the house and pet sit all the critters, and will take care of the pumpkins, and I will have detailed instructions for that person. The only thing really that I have left to do in here, other than plant the tomato plant, is reorganize this. I got a bunch of stuff that I need to tell you guys about as far as nutrients and biologicals that a local friend of mine gave me, so I need to kind of give you guys the rundown on that. So far the technology has been working really good. One hang up I've had is the sediment filter. The biologicals typically come in a powder form, and even though I do a whole lot of mixing, that powder is getting caught in the filter. So as I'm trying to automate the watering, so it should, fill up the tank, mix the tank, water in, fill up the tank again. My hang up is that instead of like watering the 60 or so gallons that I have it set to, the filter's getting clogged up. The tank wants to fill again, so instead of watering like 60, it's watering, 30, and then I'm overflowing 30 gallons of water. So I'm thinking about dropping the filter, or mixing it once a day. Cleaning it more. I clean it a lot, but I don't know. That's a issue that I need to work out. But other than that, it is all good in the hood. These plants are definitely the biggest plants I've ever had at this point in time. Mid-June, we're definitely, if the Wallace banner is midway, all of my plants are past halfway of their growing space. So, and they're picking up speed. Except right there, you can see good spacing on the leaves, and then I need to keep my feed schedule going. But yeah, so really good start to the year. Hopefully we could have a really good finish to the year. Hopefully everybody else's grow is going spectacularly. And that's all I got for you. So we'll catch you on the next one. I'll do an update from Montana, hopefully in a hot springs. Get out there, grow yourself a giant pumpkin, and we'll talk to you next week. See ya.